Welcome to the channel. I'm Lisa and I'm here to help you improve your English language skills, specifically your communication skills. Today's lesson is about vocabulary. Many students forget to work on vocabulary, your stale vocabulary words. Well, what do I mean by stale vocabulary? Well, that word stale, I'm going to show you an image here, means old. So if you had some rolls that you bought and perhaps you forgot about one of them, what happens after several days and weeks? It gets old or stale. It's no longer of use to you. You can't eat it. It's really not good for anything. Vocabulary words are like that. If we do not practice them, go back and review the words we've learned, they become old and we can't pull them from our memory quickly. So that word is of no use to us if we can't remember it. So let's do a little bit of exercise. I'm not talking about words that are complex, even simple words we forget, and that can slow down communication. So let's do a little exercise here. I'm going to show you some colors, and can you say them with me? Purple, red, green, orange. How did you do? Did you remember the colors? Did they come quickly? If you hesitated in any way, that means you might have to go back and review your colors. So if you're describing a shirt that you bought to a coworker and you say, oh, the shirt was, that's an example of a word becoming stale. So it could be that we just need to practice that word because we haven't used it in a while. We've learned it and we just haven't used it in a while. So why wouldn't we have used that word? It could be because it's not in our functional vocabulary. So the vocabulary words that you need to use should be part of your functional vocabulary. Functional vocabulary is the words you need to get through the day, your day-to-day living. Those words are the most important vocabulary words that you need to be learning. For example, if you are a mechanic, you might need to use the word wrench. But me, I'm not a mechanic. I don't work on cars or any kind of machinery. I don't really need to work on remembering the word wrench. But if you're in that field, you do. So my functional vocabulary will be different from your functional vocabulary. So every student, you must create your own personal vocabulary plan. I'll give you another example. Let's say you want to get a job as a nurse or working in the medical field, or you want to get into retail. Maybe you have a job opening at a local restaurant. Maybe you're going to be a cashier. Whatever field, you have to learn the words for that field. So if you're going into nursing or the medical field, you're going to have to learn words medically related. But you won't need to practice those words if you're going into retail because you'll be working in a coffee shop. So you have to remember what is your personal circumstances that you will encounter each day and prepare for that circumstance to get you through that situation. Another example that students often struggle with is going to the doctor. So if you have to make an appointment, perhaps for your child. So maybe you're sick or you have a checkup. You're going to have to talk to the nurse or the doctor, or your child is sick or he has a checkup. Maybe school is opening and he has to have a physical. You're going to have to learn to talk comfortably in that situation. And if you have a child that maybe gets sick often, you have to put those vocabulary words in your functional vocabulary. So you better get used to using such words as fever, stomach ache, headache, pills, pain reliever, prescription. Those words should come quickly. If they're not coming quickly, you need to practice those words. How do you keep track of those words? Well, get a book, write it down, use your phone, whatever it is. There are a few vocabulary notebooks especially designed for this. I will put links in the description Here's a cover of a sunflower one, or flowers, whatever it is that you like. You should have a book, and in that book, you should be keeping track of the words that you need to be memorizing, the pronunciation, how to use it, and go back every so often to see how you're doing with those words. What's good about this journal, if you click the link, you'll see inside it has 2 columns, one for the English word and then one for your native language word. So you can see the translation, and also you can take notes on it, practice sentences, but every day you need to keep track of words that you run into that are needed for your functional vocabulary. So if you go to the doctor and you forgot the word fever and you keep forgetting the word fever, you need to put that in your book and revisit that word. Let's talk about pronunciation. So with pronunciation, one of the techniques that you can use is go through the 600 most common English words in the English language, and you can learn those. That's a great way to start. Just go through those common words. And I like that approach because you also will go through the common sounds that appear in the English language. So you can start there, go through each one. I'll show you an example here and see if you can pronounce it. And here you get to see not only the common letters and sounds, but the combination of letters, which are sound clusters. So it's very common in English to see the I and the E together in a word. And so you can practice these. So here we have, let's see if you can say them. So you can pause the video and see if you would say them the way I would. Stripe, rise, invite, dive, ripe, kite. Did you get all those words? Were you able to say them correctly? How about a few more? Cake, bake, snake, game, lake. Right, it's not cakey, bakey, snaky, right? Cake, bake, snake, game, lake. And can you say them quickly? So that's a great example of the vocabulary words that you should be learning. Let's do one more together. This is a sound cluster. So sound clusters, again, are when 2 or more letters are found in the English language, and they're very common, and they create a new sound. The TH is a sound that gives many students trouble. Why? Because that sound does not exist in your native language. So when you speak English, it's very hard for the tongue and mouth to form the sound to make a TH, this th. This, that, the, then, than, whether. Were you able to say them? And so that's a great way if you want to improve pronunciation or improve your vocabulary. Go through all 600 common words in the English language. I'll put a link to this. You can get it for just a couple dollars on Gumroad. And you can print it out, save it on your phone. Each day, go through them. Can you say them quickly and concisely and very clearly? And if you have your own English teacher, or if you have a native speaker that can check your pronunciation, see how you're doing. See how you're doing on all of those. So remember 2 takeaways from this lesson. Think about your functional English. Learn words that are useful to you. Don't just learn random words that are not going to be useful in your day-to-day life. So think about your functional vocabulary for you. Think about pronunciation. Going through those common words will help you get all those common English sounds, and also look at spelling. And also consider reading. Reading is another great way to learn vocabulary. I do have a video on that. I will put the link in the description, and I'll be making future videos about this. So hopefully you enjoyed this lesson. If you found it helpful, you can leave a comment, leave a like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.